Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I'm the Gothic Rose, and this is the dark tale of the day. Welcome back, dear fiends of the Den. As you know, the Dark Entertainment Network is a channel where the news meets conspiracy theories, makes babies in my brain, and it comes out my mouth. If you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and meet me in the Den. Today on the Haunted History of Hollywood, we are talking the iconic filmmaker Charlie Chaplin. Now, his look overall, and you can almost hear the silent film piano music play when you say Charlie Chaplin's name. That's how synonymous he is with silent films himself. And if you check out my live stream from last week, which I will link in the description, you will hear the theory I have that Charlie Chaplin was behind the downfall of his mentor, Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle. So let's get into Charlie Chaplin's achievements and scandals. Just for the record, the silent film era, in my personal opinion, was the epitome of what filmmaking was, with the expressive acting, the editing, the innovation, and honestly, the music to go with it. And part of me just wants Hollywood to go back to the silent films because some of these newer actors talk too much, more outside the films than in them, if you know what I mean. Just for the record, the silent film era, in my personal opinion, was the epitome of what filmmaking was, with the expressive acting, the editing, the innovation, and honestly, the music to go with it. And part of me just wants Hollywood to go back to the silent films because some of these newer actors talk too much, more outside the films than in. Because the more things change, the more they stay the same. Now, Charlie Chaplin was a pioneer in the silent film era, and he created the beloved character, the Tramp. He directed classics like The Kid in 1921 and City Lights in 1931, Modern Times in 1936, but his film that is most talked about is The Circus, 1928, with The Possible Time Traveler, which will be an episode of its own. Here is a close-up of the iconic Tramp look of the character created by Charlie Chaplin, who was born on April 16th, 1889 in London, England, and passed away on December 25th, 1977 in Corsier-sur-Vevey, Switzerland. So he received a Special Academy Award in 1929 for his work on the film The Circus, and of course, again, 1972, an Honorary Academy Award, and he won an Academy Award for Best Music Original Dramatic Score for Limelight in 1973. So Charlie Chaplin made films for a very long time. He had a significantly long career. Now, his scandals included controversial relationships and legal troubles and some other allegations. Yes, Charlie Chaplin was a controversial figure of his time. His political allegations, Charlie Chaplin's perceived communist sympathies, led to scrutiny during the McCarthy era. So McCarthyism really, we're sort of mimicking these times right now with pointing fingers at people if you don't know what McCarthyism is and you are not familiar. And this was the anti-communist campaign in the United States during the early 1950s, led by Senator Joseph McCarthy. It was part of the broader Second Red Scare, a period marked by widespread fear of communist influence in American institutions. Oh, history. Oh, history. So we have, this was characterized, McCarthyism, by unsubstantiated allegations, investigations and blacklists, and the political climate. So Charlie Chaplin was part of this whole thing, but his other scandals were paternity suits, accusations of immoral behavior, which tarnished his reputation, and he faced criticism for his relationships with much younger women, including marrying 16-year-old Mildred Harris when he was 29. And this was in the 20s. And weirdly, in the 1920s, it was widely accepted for younger women and older men to get married, but there was a significant age gap where at least we Gen Xers would call them cradle robbers. And that was how we referred to older men who liked younger women. But his paternity scandal is pretty interesting. So let's just quickly pop in. This is from vice.com. And it says Charlie Chaplin was a sadistic tyrant who effed teenage girls by Lauren Euler. And this is from April 15th, 2010. And it starts with this weekend, Charlie Chaplin, a man whose face you know but movies you don't, would have celebrated his 127th birthday. Though no birth certificate for the British film icon has ever been found, it's generally accepted that he was born on April 16th, 1889. Celebrity birthdays are completely irrelevant, yet many have noted that the beloved Aries entered the world just 4 days before another toothbrush mustached famous person, you know who that is, from Germany. And he did have that particular look. His character, the Tramp, had that particular look. Although Chaplin's ridiculous facial hair came with a sense for slapstick, the pair often compared, and not just because the tyrannical director satirized the tyrannical dictator in a 1940 film. So we are going to hit up more on Charlie Chaplin this week because he is so interesting. We'll get back more into that Vice that I'm reading here, this article, and we are just going to talk more about who Charlie Chaplin was, because it seems like he's who he wanted us to know he was, but I want to know about the sadistic stuff, and we'll get into that tomorrow, so stay tuned for more Haunted Hollywood history. If you have any tips to share with me, or you'd like to be a guest in the Den, please email me at welcometothedenpodcast@gmail.com. Must be 21 or over to be a guest. And again, thank you so much to everyone who is part of the Den and meets me here every day. If you like this content, please let me know. Give me a shout out. Share the videos, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Again, thank you for joining me in the Den.